What's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. It is the end of week 2 of the Erg Endurance Series. And for many of us in the indoor rowing community who are less sprint inclined, shall we say, the Endurance Series is kind of like our Super Bowl. There aren't too many that really cater to endurance specialists, which I would consider myself to be. And for those of you that aren't too familiar with the Erg Endurance Series or virtual competitions in general, how these competitions work and why so many of us enjoy participating in them is that the events themselves are not typically just straight time trials. Now with the Endurance Series, each week's workout has multiple scoring dimensions, and so there is a lot of strategy that comes into play. And so let me talk you through an example. So the week 1 workout featured a 1,000 meter interval, 3-minute break, another 1,000 meter interval, 2-minute break, a 2,000 meter interval, a 1-minute break, and then finishing off with a 3,000 meter interval. So what is that? 7,000 meters total with a total of 6 minutes rest. So increasing distance, decreasing rest. Now, what makes these types of workouts fun is that from a scoring perspective, we're not just taking the overall time to complete that workout. That is one dimension upon which we're scored, but there were 2 others. So we were also scored on the time of our second 1K and the time of that 3,000 meter rep. So 3 scoring dimensions. And what that means is essentially we're all ranked against each other on each of those dimensions. So my time for that second 1K rep would be ranked against everyone else's time for their second 1K. The time for my 3K rep would be ranked against everyone else's 3K, and the overall time would be ranked against everyone else's overall time. Counterintuitively, because this is called the Endurance Series competition after all, what I have found is that the shorter the scored rep, the more of an impact it can have on your overall score. So let me elaborate on that. So with last week's workout having a scored 1,000 meter rep, you could have 15 people finish within 10 seconds of each other. The difference of a few seconds can actually produce a huge swing in your point total for that week. And as you might imagine, the fewer points you accrue each week, the higher your standing. Unfortunately, I didn't learn my lesson from prior competitions. And in week 1, I ended up getting really dinged on the 1K. I put forth what I thought was a solid 1K, really went after the 3K, but what it ended up happening was a whole bunch of folks in the Masters field ended up posting some monster 1K scores, and so I think I ended up ranking 9th or 10th for that 1K, and so I accrued basically 10 points just from that one 1,000 meter segment. And 10 points, heck even 5 points, can be a lot to try and make up over subsequent weeks. So I kind of dug myself a hole there in week 1. But nonetheless, the week 2 workout was, I would argue, quite a bit more challenging than week 1. It featured 2 reps of 4,478 meters, if I got that correct, which is the height of the Matterhorn. And it's 2 reps of 4,478 with a 4-minute rest in between. So this workout is only scored on 2 dimensions: the time of your first interval and your overall time. The question that this week's workout is asking you is, how deep are you willing to go in that first rep? And can you hang on in that second rep for a decent overall time? So I just completed the workout earlier this morning. This was my second attempt actually. So let's see how it went. My plan with the first rep was to sit about a split and a half above my 5K pace. And then my plan for the second rep was to negative split it. So negative split, meaning start at a slower pace and then gradually accelerate and pick up the pace as I get further into it. Knowing that I would feel pretty terrible those first few minutes as I was still recovering from the effort of the first rep, I decided to start out at around a 145 pace and then just sort of see how I felt through those first 1,500 meters and then just wind it up as I got further along. And this is where doing these competitions alongside others, especially others around my speed on Erg Zone, is really helpful. So I had actually the Erg Zone live view up on the TV. I would call this my indoor rowing setup, shifting over from the garage. And this is actually where I erg in the summer when it gets too hot, unfortunately, to train in the garage. But I shifted to this setup today so that I could see the Erg Zone live view on the TV. So I was watching a couple of my fellow competitors very closely to see how they were pacing, and it was really helpful, particularly in that second rep when the going got tough. I could see a couple of my teammates who were right around where I was, and I was able to pace myself off of them and finish pretty strong. I made up some of the ground that I'd lost in week 1. Now, of course, we'll find out tomorrow what the week 3 workout is. Selfishly, I'm really hoping it does not feature any short intervals. If it does, I'll just have to do the best I can and maybe try a more aggressive approach on those sprint reps. Got some significant ground to make up if I want to crack the podium, so it will definitely be a challenge, but I would rather be struggling to crack the podium against a very strong field than win an event that doesn't have a lot of strong competition in it. So yeah, very excited to see what next week brings. Till next time, take care of yourselves, keep chasing, peace.